Hey everybody, welcome to another Overland Garage episode where we talk about everything Overland. Tonight we've got Mike, Mighty Mouse Mike, and we've got Dave.
Old Man Dave.
Old man.
Okay, fair enough.
That's your nickname.
We got our drinks, we're enjoying this amazing fire, and on this campfire subject that we're going to talk about is overlanding trailers. So come join us, sit back, grab a cold beverage, and let's talk about overlanding trailers. Easy, John. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, so today's subject that we want to talk about is adventuring with trailers, overland trailers. I've got my trailer that I've created. Dave has now created 2 trailers, and then Mike has a teardrop camper that has been modified that it can go off-road a whole lot better. And I think let's just kind of kick this off as why did you pick a trailer to adventure with versus just, you know, right out of the vehicle?
Because I spent about 4 years solo camping in a Isuzu Trooper.
Okay.
And
fair enough.
At some point you get tired of crawling out of bed. You can't sit up. You can't make a pot of coffee. You can't do anything till you get up and get outside.
Okay, yeah, that is true. Now, let me just elaborate a little bit. My trailer that I have is basically like a utilitarian style. It's got the rooftop tent on top of it, and then it's got storage all the way around. I am far from being finished on my trailer. I still got a lot more to do. Dave's 2 trailers that he's had. The first one was a sleep-in style.
Sleep-in style.
And
you could stand up and get dressed.
Okay, and then you had your kitchen and everything was outside, right?
You had to still go outside.
Okay. And your new one, you converted a enclosed trailer. And man, that thing's like a cabin on wheels. It's nice.
Yeah, and you can get up in the morning. The way it's been built is you can get up in the morning if you want to and just push a button and the electric coffee pot comes on. And you don't even have to get up.
I do envy you on that. I hear your coffee pot machine going in the morning. I'm like, man, I wish I had that instead. And then Mike, you've got your teardrop camper, which is the sleep-in and then the kitchen in the back.
Galley in the back.
Yeah. So why did you decide to go the route of a trailer?
Well, that was easy. I went with your Oregon Trail tour.
Yeah, the tag-along tour?
Tag-along tour.
Yeah.
I'm in my Tacoma. I've got the BAM bed system. Thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
Had the topper that I have. It's a snug top. Had the tailgate down and the glass up, and had the little tent on the end that extends your living. And
yeah.
And it was frustrating because I had to unload gear to set up my bed, and then I had to take down my bed and then load all my gear again. And there was one night on that tour that we were at Atlantic City.
Oh yes, yeah.
Atlantic City, and we pulled into our campsite, and it was sprinkling, kind of raining, and so I'm struggling to throw my gear out under an awning. I had to set my awning up to keep my gear dry, set up my bed. I'm still working on that, and there were two guys along in the trip that had teardrops, one that is identical to mine, and those guys had already set up their beds were already set, obviously.
Yeah.
They had already cooked their dinner, and they were walking around camp drinking a beer and talking to everybody, and I'm still trying to just get things set up. And I decided at that point I was no longer going to truck camp. I had to camp, and I wanted to teardrop because I loved the way that they could take theirs anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere that we needed to go. Even when the trail was rough. So yeah, I had to have one, and a month later I had one.
There you go. And you've been loving it ever since.
Yeah. It's just the way it has to be for me now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I decided to build my trailer strictly because of one thing. Kids. I've got 3 boys, and having the trailer allows me to haul all the additional gear that requires a family of 5 to travel. Plus, it also gives the boys a off the ground area to sleep because their tent is on the trailer. So that is why I decided to go with an overlanding trailer. Now, as the boys get older and they go off on their own thing, I think what we'll probably do is move our tent, Mandy and I's tent, onto the trailer, so then that way we can have base camp and then go off in an adventure with, the truck and have base camp set up, kind of like what we've got going on right now.
Yep.
So, well, great. Okay, so now we know why we decided to go with trailers. So, you were talking, Dave, on a really good subject earlier about things to think about when doing a trailer, either buying one or building one.
Yes.
So what advice do you have out there?
My advice is that as you progress down this overland road and you start wanting maybe a trailer, put into perspective of your age. Is this trailer you're putting your heart and soul in to build or buy, is it going to survive? Is it going to suffice in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? My restrictions started showing up with my first trailer when I would camp when it was colder and realize I wasn't having much fun getting up and have to go outside and fix breakfast or warm water up or anything.
Okay, yeah, I can totally see that. Where that's you and me right now, Mike.
Yeah, because my galley's in the back, so I would have to get out in the cold to do that.
Yeah, and mine is just kit that I set up around the camper.
Yeah.
Eventually, I am going to make a kitchen that slides out, that's permanently mounted onto the trailer. But yeah, as of right now, that's great advice. Yeah.
But on the other hand, those you have a tent on top of your trailer.
Yeah.
Where mine is totally enclosed. I'll throw a Mr. Buddy in there and I'll light it up for 5 minutes, and the inside of my teardrop is warm for the rest of the night.
Yes, that is one nice thing, because your first trailer, Dave, was canvas side, and then now your second one is completely hard side.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really feel like that, if you were wanting to get into an overlanding trailer, I feel like that is the way to go. Honestly, I do, because a hard side, small, compact, like a teardrop, is a really good thing is a good direction to go, because there's some national parks that won't even let you camp in them if you've got soft-sided,
Good point.
trailers
Yeah.
or tents, where a hard side, you're completely fine on that aspect. And then also a hard side is going to be more of your 4 seasons setup for those who like to go out in the wintertime like us crazy people do.
Yeah.
But I know you can heat a canvas, you can heat a tent relatively well with like the diesel heater and stuff, but still, like when you're waking up and you're needing to pack up and stuff, sure, the inside's nice and somewhat thawed out, but the outside, that canvas gets icy and kind of a mess. And so I actually think that's kind of the way to go. And if somebody did come up to me and said, hey, what would you recommend for an overlanding trailer? I think that's what I would steer them down, is either a small enclosed or like a teardrop, or even your idea. The only bummer about your idea is they don't make the roofs tall enough.
But they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, there is another trailer of this same model.
Okay.
That you can order with 6 inches more roof.
Okay. So, just describe your new trailer that you built. What'd you start off with?
It's a 5x8 with an optional 6 inches on top.
Enclosed trailer.
Enclosed trailer.
Okay. Okay.
The nice thing is it starts off and fairly well built at 900 pounds. So you have quite a bit of room to build out. This trailer now only weighs 1,700 pounds fully loaded.
That's not bad, because my trailer, the way that it sits right now, when it was completely empty, was 1,000 pounds. The way that it sits now, without the tent, it was just the shell of it was 1,000 pounds. And didn't we weigh yours, Mike, when we went down to Curran? What was that?
Well, it weighed out at 1350, but I also had a bunch of just overflow gear that I threw in there too.
Okay.
But
okay.
1350 was what it weighed out at.
Okay. And that's not bad. And you're towing your trailer with your Isuzu.
Yeah.
And that's like what, 140 horsepower?
No, 195.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
I'm pulling mine with a 4-cylinder.
That is true. Yeah, you are. You've got your Tacoma's got the what
2.7.
Yep, the 2.7 with the manual transmission.
Yep.
Yeah, and it seems like it does it pretty well.
I don't even know it's back there until I get on a steep grade.
Gotcha. Okay. And then we re-geared the differentials to help with that.
That's right. Yeah. Well, that was a DB Overland re-gear too, by the way.
Yeah.
We went from 410 to 488, and it just changed the truck because I put 33s on the truck, and that's what, that's why it necessitated the re-gear.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, what would you guys? I can't think.
Well, there's one comment I wanted to make.
Sure.
About having the hard side,
Yeah.
and the teardrop.
Yeah.
So like yesterday, you guys were out fishing, and I was back at camp, watching, holding camp down and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got this heck of a thunderstorm, and we had a hailstorm.
Well, this is turning into a fun camping trip.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And and so when I crawled in my teardrop, life was good.
That is true.
Open the door, crawl in, close the door, and I don't care what the weather is. I was in good shape.
It was a hurricane outside, and you were just nice and fine
I didn't
inside.
even know. Yeah, I was laying down, looking out the skylight, and the hail was hitting the window, and I was like enjoying it. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so let's talk about so we talked about the positives, right? Why we chose to have we towed trailers. Let's talk about the negatives, because that's always something that people are wondering about. And honestly, let's just right now talk about like having that additional trailer on the trail.
okay.
Because there's so many different ways that we can go about this, but we'll first talk about towing a trailer on the trail.
Well, let me tell you one thing. Before we go into negatives, let's talk about positives.
Okay.
So there's been several times that I will find a nice dispersed camping area, and I will set up my teardrop, But I also like to do hiking.
Oh yeah.
And I may not want to, the trailhead may not be where my camper is parked.
That's true.
And so, there was several times I like to park by Porcupine Falls, for example.
Yeah.
And I'll set up my camp and I'll have my teardrop there, but I can drive away and I can go over to Bucking Mule Falls and I can make that hike and I don't have to worry about losing my campsite.
That is true.
Because my my teardrop's holding down my site, I lock it up, I don't have to worry about anything like that. I can come back after a long day of hiking and enjoying myself and my home is still right there.
That's very true. Yep. You feel that way too, Dave?
To a certain extent, yes.
Yeah.
And I find that a trailer, and maybe it's just because I've aged a little bit, I've found that the trailer is not a hindrance for most trails that we do.
I have not found one trail yet that I can't take my teardrop on.
And that's exactly, I agree 100% with you, because this is now just my philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
This could be completely different mindset with you guys, but my philosophy is if the truck can make it, the camper can make it.
Well,
To an extent. Because, yes, you do have the swing of the trailer, so cornering is going to be a whole lot harder.
Ooh, I just
and
got
stuff.
buzzed.
Whoa.
Did you see that thing?
There it is.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, you've got that additional weight that you've got to drag over stuff and then also cornering, but if your trailer's set up well enough, like a lot of these trailers are, they can go anywhere the truck can pretty much go.
Yep.
And I see so much of where it's like people go out and buy these $60,000 overlanding trailers that 33-inch tires, independent suspension, and all that stuff, and a gravel road is the most that they'll do, and oh no, I can't go any more than that.
Right.
Yeah, you can, but also that also goes off of your comfort level of how much you can push yourself.
Well, I could take that thing where those big campers can't go.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the whole point for me is I don't want to be around people. I don't want to be in a paid campsite.
Yeah.
I want to be somewhere where I can be by myself.
Exactly.
And I can take that thing where I want to go.
Exactly. We've got our neighbor deer back. So we've been camping here this is going on our third night, and we've got a deer that likes to wander in and woke me up one night deciding to lick a spatula on the table that got left out, and oh my gosh, what is that noise?
He's playing peekaboo. He's behind the trigger.
Yeah.
All right, back to trailers.
So Dave, talk about that, like the trails and trailer, like.
Yeah, I haven't found any restrictions. But I am more careful anymore.
Yeah.
But an enclosed trailer is really a significant undertaking. But what am I trying to say? That you can't. Most people don't have the capabilities to make like an enclosed trailer with the skills and the home garage that most people have.
Yeah.
These trailers now, depending on brand, of course, are fairly well built, and they make a very good base to start with.
Yeah.
And when you have something, so far this trailer has had no issues traveling over the rough country.
That's good.
It's been down through Colorado on the Rimrocker Trail.
Oh, wow.
It's been where has it been? It's been to Kerwin. It's been
quite a bit in Wyoming.
A bit in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So I don't feel that there's too much of an disadvantage to towing a trailer. I think if you get the weight too heavy and try to add too much,
Yes.
you're not only diminishing the off-road capability, but you're also diminishing the highway capability.
Yes, that is very true. And you know, that is one thing that when it comes to traveling with a trailer off-road, that I've been overlanding and off-roading and adventuring for, let's quick math here, I've been doing it for over 20 years. And after a while, things just, it's all kind of the same. But as soon as I hook that trailer up to the back of the truck, it's a whole different ball game. And it actually like requires more skill level from me to make sure that I don't sideswipe it or I don't tip it over on a rock. And I actually find with that trailer behind me, that challenge to be quite enjoyable actually for me. And it's like taking it on the Morrison Jeep Trail, you know, like going around a corner and you're looking in the rearview mirror and it's like, oh, I want to put that trailer tire right on that rock, and you know, you get it, oh yep, perfect, I hit it just where I wanted it to, you know. And yeah, I find it more challenging, but don't expect to get an Overland trailer and then just go right out on the trail and be, you know, tremendous at it. It's going to take practice. And you know, the more practice, the more you get out on the trail, the more comfortable you can get. Now, the trail that we took to get into here, it's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent trail. And
decent as in challenging, I thought.
Right.
There were a lot of big rocks there.
We had a deep water crossing. We had steep hill climbs.
Yes.
And we had a lot of rock, not like boulders, but we had some good sized mounding rocks sticking out of the road that we had to
up and over,
yeah. And every single trailer did phenomenal. And I really believe that also when building a trailer, it's about it's all about the suspension. So let's just kind of talk about that. So let's talk about the like engineering and the building and the, you know, like, what do you guys feel like an Overland trailer has to have? And I'll start off saying that no matter what the trailer is, it has to have a good suspension. Now, what I mean by good suspension is not just these tiny little trailer leaf springs that you can go buy,
right,
that's stamped out in China, because they're too stiff for the trailer, and therefore you actually create more bounce because of that. And then also having a set of shocks on your suspension, and that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't put shock on your suspension, and unfortunately, like your teardrop camper only has a torsion flex axle.
Yep.
And we were 2 eggs down, unfortunately. I don't know if anything else got shooken up so bad, but
2 eggs, meaning that I had a 4-pack of eggs and I lost 2 already.
yeah,
that's what he means by 2 eggs down.
yeah. So, and my trailer, I just have really long leaf springs that were out of a Jeep Cherokee. I am gonna change it around, but for what it is, it actually works pretty well. It's pretty soft, but I am going to change it up a little bit. Your first trailer, you were quite inventive about that. You used a Suzu rear springs, and also like the front hub assemblies and stuff.
The front hub assemblies, so you have the same bolt pattern.
Yeah.
As all 6 by 5.5.
Nice. And you put shocks on the suspension.
And it had shocks on it.
Yeah.
One of the nice things of using hubs off the 4-wheel drive like that is you're running on tapered car bearings.
Ah, there you go.
Tapered car bearings and lip seals.
Yeah.
On your axles.
Versus the tiny little trailer wheel bearings.
Right.
Yeah. Now I know your new trailer doesn't have an upgraded suspension yet, but you've been contemplating about coming up with something.
Yeah, And my thought is that if a person wanted to do an enclosed trailer and was on a somewhat of a budget,
Yeah.
do the stuff that's important first.
Yeah.
The suspension can. Well, am I being attacked?
No,
That deer is
the
right
deer.
behind you.
It caught the corner of my eye.
He's moving over there.
Do the things that you think are critical for your comfort and for utility. The suspension can be done later,
Yeah.
but one way to get past the suspension point for the time being, in the interim time, is air down.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I have to.
Air down the tires.
I can't go over any roads in mine with the 30 pounds in my 31-inch tires.
Right.
I air down to about 12 pounds, and I like looking in my. Oh, is there another one over there?
There's two of them. There's one over there and there's one over there now.
Anyway, I air down to about 12 pounds, and I love looking in the rearview mirror, and as I go over the rocks and everything, and just see that little tire compress.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So,
yeah.
Without that, I'd be breaking all 4 eggs.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I air down all my I air down every time too when I take the trailer out. So, what would you guys, if somebody was looking at, getting into an overlanding with a trailer, what advice would you recommend to them? We'll finish this conversation off with that since we're getting a little low on our lighting here. So, what would you recommend, or what advice would you have for somebody when they're in the market for a trailer?
First, as I said at the start of this,
Yeah.
consider your age.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a great one.
Good point.
And I never thought about that myself, and now I'm going, back to the drawing board for me.
I'm too old to crawl up on top and get a top tent or whatever. What
Yeah, the
do you
rooftop
call it?
tents?
Rooftop tent.
Yeah.
I'm too old because at night I got to get out 4 times a night.
Yeah.
Yeah, teardrop. I'm one step on the ground and I'm good to go. But I'm not crawling down and up a tent.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then consider your tow vehicle.
Yep.
Yeah. Very true. Yep.
I mean, do you want to build a 3,000-pound monster, or do you want to go shopping around and find something that weighs 900 pounds to start with?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can actually get a fairly nice enclosed trailer. I'm kind of an advocate now of it. Is for about $3,500 to $4,000, you can get a pretty nice, and you can start camping out of it immediately.
Yeah. Throw a cot in it, and away you go.
Throw a cot and a Coleman stove,
Done.
and you're ready.
Yeah.
And as you find your needs, build it,
Yep.
insulate it, and
Yeah.
tear down when it gets rough. And,
Yeah.
But one of the important things for mine was to find something I could stand up in.
Yep. That's a great one.
It's not that much fun spending a week or so out on an adventure, stooped over, crawling around on your knees, and never being able to straighten up when
Yeah.
you're trying to get warm or comfortable.
Yeah. Totally hear that. How about you, Mike? What advice would you throw to somebody if somebody walked up to you and started talking about, I want to get a trailer? What advice would you give them?
Well, my teardrop is, I consider it one of the better ones. It's a new camp. It's T&G. It's 5 feet wide. It has a queen bed size sleeping area. I don't use the air conditioner because I'm never going to plug into shore power.
Right. Yeah.
But I do have, the DVD player and the TV player, and in bad weather like yesterday, I just crawled in and watched a movie, and
Yeah.
yeah. Well, what I would say is, for me, it's just when I pull into a campsite, if I need to just cook a meal and go to bed, I'm done in 20 minutes. I can manage that.
So, you would recommend to somebody look for a trailer that is very with that KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
It's very, yeah.
Keep it simple.
Well, like I said earlier, is when we rolled into a campsite once before, and I'm spending 30 minutes just getting my bed set up.
Yeah.
And the other guys that had the teardrops were already, you know, they already cooked their meal.
Yep.
They were already, you know, walking around camp talking to people.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it for me. It's like I'm wasting so much time trying to just be.
And that's me right now.
Yeah.
Right now, when I pull up to camp, yes, I have the trailer, but it's basically a cargo trailer. So I have to unload.
Yeah.
I have to set up. And yeah, my time compared to your time,
Yep.
it's way greater.
I could pull into a campsite if it's late at night. I could just crawl in and go to sleep. I don't have to do anything
Yeah,
else.
that's awesome. Oh, hear that storm?
Thunder,
we're gonna-
thunder is rolling.
Yeah.
My dog's under the truck. She's not liking it.
Well, I hope that the subject that we talked, everything that we talked about tonight will help you guys in finding that trailer that's going to work for you. And I really hope that this video helps you out. And don't be discouraged in getting an Overland trailer. There's unfortunately so many people out there that are so bashful against you bringing a trailer on the trail, and there's absolutely no reason for that at all.
Absolutely.
Trailers are privileged to go anywhere our vehicles can go, in my book.
Yep.
So, well, thanks for joining us on this Overland Garage video where we talked about the subject of Overland trailers. Stay tuned for the next Overland Garage video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, subscribe. Don't forget, comment down below on what your dream overlanding trailer is. And until next time, we'll see you guys out on the trail.
Cheers.
Cheers. And here's.